By the way.
I didn't tear my
Okay, just put it down and then just put it on top of it.
Who's Joseph?
That was
Joseph. You know what they said. I'm sorry, I'm going to rub it. It's one of my favorites.
Also went by last night.
Yeah, it also was Matt last game. I'm still.
It's Matt. He never found his name tag.
There's one over there for you. There's one over there for you.
I couldn't find the other ones that I made, so we just got like.
Wouldn't that be so funny if the live stream me as Matt? Everybody's like, if we get a new,
Brandon's shaking his name tag to make sure that's him.
I can do that.
He wants it to be. Okay, now both the JV questions there are not counted.
Can you see from the
Okay, so I don't have to say anything about
If I get a message or notification, you will see my Snapchat. Oh wait. It's still
imagine they have like the.
I got a plus save.
You should. Yeah. But the table.
I hope I can see these buzzers because the last time I did this, I would have the lights were out and so somebody would buzz and I'd be like, so be patient with me if I look at you like if y'all know who buzzed and I don't know, just tell me who buzzed. Sometimes I say those
Everybody ready? There you go. Alright, let's start with the buzzer check for.
This is Brandon. This is Kayla.
It's not even here.
Oh, and unplugged.
Oh, wait, no.
Leah's unplugged too.
Who is?
Leah.
I thought it was just buzz. Did I knock it out?
No. I didn't guess. It was okay.
I got tried.
Yay, Caleb's works.
This is Chance. And I'm Leah.
Let me find some things.
Good deal. Okay, y'all are all buzzing.
This is Andrew. This is JT. This is Joey. And I'm Tia.
So right now we're all working. Yes.
It would be you guys in all trouble. I'll go to Tom.
Okay, are we good? All right, JV. Good to start. I don't have categories above these questions, so they'll just be questions, so just listen closely. Question number 1. A viral video depicts a contestant on this show yelling, "Naked Grandma." Leah.
Family Feud.
You're correct. Alright, so bonus for question 1. Since 2010, at least 24 Indonesian islands have disappeared because of pirates removing large amounts of this substance. For 10 points each, name this material composed of silica that consists of particles 1/16 to 2 millimeters across.
Gold.
Incorrect.
Sand.
That is correct. Okay, so now I've forgotten my bonus for them. Okay. The largest use of sand is in this durable building material made up of an aggregate material bonded with a cement.
I defer to chance.
Concrete.
That's correct. And bonus C. This term describes rock particles greater than 2 millimeters across, which are used in concrete along with sand.
I defer to chance.
Gravel.
That's correct. Okay, question number 2. This man hosts the podcast No Spin News. In April 2017, this man's TV show lost half its advertisers in response to the revelation that he had settled 5 lawsuits concerning sexual harassment. For 10 points, name this man who once hosted a Fox News show nicknamed The Factor.
Time.
The correct answer is Bill O'Reilly. The O'Reilly Factor. Okay, question 3. While mapping land in what is now this state, John C. Fremont took command of rebels during the Bear Flag Revolt. It joined the U.S. as a free state in the Compromise of 1850, 2 years after a find at Sutter's Mill led to a gold rush. For 10 points, the 49ers went to what current state? Chance.
California.
You are correct. Okay, bonus. After translating a fairy book, this criminal prodigy kidnaps the elf police officer Holly Short. For 10 points each, name this title character of a series of young adult fantasy novels.
Pass.
Okay.
Time.
Okay, the correct answer is Artemis Fowl. All right, B. This Irish author created Artemis Fowl. He wrote the 6th book in the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy series after the death of Douglas Adams.
Pass.
Time.
The correct answer is Owen Colfer. And C, this power mad pixie, a longtime rival of the centaur scientist Foley, is a recurring antagonist in the Artemis Fowl books.
Pass. Pass.
Okay, the correct answer is Opal Cowboy. All right, question number 4. The destructive distillation of this rock is how coke is most commonly made. This rock forms out of peat that is converted to lignite, then this rock's bituminous form, then anthracite. For 10 points, name this fossil fuel that is the world's largest source of energy for electricity. Chance.
Coal.
That's correct. All right. Bonus for question 4. These devices consist of one or more voltaic cells that convert chemical energy to electrical energy. For 10 points each, name these devices used to power items such as cell phones and flashlights.
Batteries.
That's correct. Most cell phone batteries contain ions of this lightest metal.
I've heard of Brandon.
Lithium.
That's correct. And C, the half cells of a voltaic cell can be connected by this type of bridge, named after a general term for ionic compounds.
Pass.
Time.
Correct answer is salt bridge. Okay, question number 5. In Incan myth, the benevolent Inti was the god of this object. This celestial body is mentioned in a Langston Hughes poem that asks if a dream deferred will dry up like a raisin in this. The Greek deity Apollo was the god Tegan.
Sun.
Sun is correct. All right, bonus question 5. The city of Shreveport is near this state's border with Arkansas and Texas. For 10 points each, name this state whose capital is Baton Rouge.
Louisiana.
That's correct. B, this city, the most populous in Louisiana, was devastated in 2005 by Hurricane Katrina.
New Orleans.
Correct. And C, New Orleans is bordered to the north by this lake, which is connected to the Gulf of Mexico by the Rigolets Strait.
Pass. Pass.
Lake Pontchartrain. Okay, question 6. This singer described a drug addict's face crumbling like pastries in the A-Team. Tegan.
Ed Sheeran.
Correct. Okay, bonus for question 6 for 10 points each. Give these colorful idioms. This 2-word phrase refers to a warning signal that something is wrong, whether due to a forest fire, at a shooting range, or in a relationship.
Time.
I've heard a chance.
Friend zone.
Good guess. Correct answer is red flag. All right. Bonus B. This astronomical phrase refers to things that happen very rarely.
Blue moon.
Yes, that is correct. And C. This 2-word phrase refers to a property requiring much care and expense and yielding little profit.
Green Acres. I've heard of Brandon.
Low income.
Correct answer is white elephant. And y'all read that one again. All right, question 7, pencil and paper ready. Kara needs to know the remainder that is left when 1,000 is divided by 12. She begins by finding the largest number less than 1,000 that is divisible by 12, and notices that 960 equals 80 times 12. For 10 points, find the remainder when 1,000 is divided by 12. Tegan?
4.
That's correct. Okay, bonus for question 7. The Chandrasekhar limit is the mass at which these objects can no longer prevent gravitational collapse. For 10 points each, name these stellar core remnants that are left behind by red giants.
Supernova?
Correct.
Pass.
Correct answer is white dwarf. B, below the Chandrasekhar limit, white dwarfs avoid collapse due to pressure supplied by these negatively charged particles found in atoms.
Electron?
That's correct. And C, this type of supernova occurs when the mass of a white dwarf in a binary star system is pushed above the Chandrasekhar limit.
Black hole? Pass.
Correct answer is type 1A supernova. Okay, question 8. To promote his History of New York, this author pretended the book was written by a Dutch scholar named Diedrich Knickerbocker. In a story by this author, the title hunter is unaware of the American Revolution after sleeping for 20 years. For 10 points, who wrote Rip Van Winkle? Correct answer is Washington Irving. All right, question 9. The U.S. imports more oil from this country than from any other. Donald Trump once asked if this country burned down the White House. A 2018 G7 summit occurred in a French-speaking province of this country. For 10 points, what nation does Prime Minister Justin Trudeau govern from Ottawa? Tegan.
Canada?
Canada is correct. Okay, bonus for question 9. For 10 points each, answer the following about the Orange Free State. Here's A. The Orange Free State was a 19th century republic located near the Orange River in what is now this country.
India?
Incorrect.
China?
The correct answer is South Africa. All right, B. The Orange Free State and Transvaal fought against the British Empire in this war that ended in 1902. It included the first widespread use of concentration camps.
Pass. World War I?
Correct answer is Second Anglo-Boer War. And C. The Orange Free State was established by Boer settlers who participated in the 1836 Great Journey, denoted by this Dutch word, which now means any long or arduous travel.
Pass. Pass.
Correct answer is Trek. All right, question number 10. This artist was the teacher and lover of the sculptor Camille Claudel. He depicted 6 men with nooses around their necks in the sculpture, The Burghers of Calais. For 10 points, a bronze man sits on a rock and rests his chin on his hand. Chance.
The thinker.
And rests his chin on his hand in what French artist's sculpture, The Thinker? Good job.
Time.
The correct answer, you know?
I feel like it's one of the Ninja Turtles.
Close. Rodin?
Never mind.
It was Rodin. All right, question 11. The order, I'm so sorry, Mr. Imel. The order Spheniciformes is entirely made up of these birds. Species of this bird, such as the gentoo, are said to porpoise while swimming. Leah,
Penguins.
you are correct. I'm impressed. I can't pronounce it. Okay. So here's bonus for 11. Dmitri Shostakovich's violin concerto, number 1, begins with one of these pieces. For 10 points each, name these musical compositions that evoke the night.
Pass. Pass.
Nocturnes. All right, B. The nocturne was popularized by this Polish-born composer of the Minuet Waltz.
Beethoven.
Incorrect.
Tchaikovsky.
The correct answer is Chopin. And C. This artist adapted the term nocturne for a series of paintings that included the falling rocket. His arrangement in gray and black, number 1, depicts his mother.
Pass. Picasso.
Correct answer is James Whistler. All right, question number 12. Some members of this religion were called handcart pioneers because they migrated on foot. In 1849, members of this religion tried to create the state of Deseret to be governed by Brigham Young. For 10 points, after the murder of Joseph Smith, many members of what faith migrated to Utah? Tegan.
Mormonism.
Yes, that is correct. All right, bonus for question 12. Pencil and paper ready. For 10 points each, give these quadrants of the Cartesian plane. Which quadrant features negative x values but positive y values?
2.
Yes. B. What is the only quadrant through which the line defined by the equation y equals negative 3x plus 11 does not pass? You have 10 seconds.
Time.
Correct answer is quadrant 3, third quadrant. All right, and the last one. Which quadrant contains the center of the circle defined by the equation x minus 4, quantity squared, plus y minus 6, quantity squared, equals 30?
Four.
Hmm?
4.
Incorrect.
How to find Brandon?
Quadrant 3.
Incorrect. The correct quadrant is quadrant 1. Okay, halftime. Everybody stretch. Take a breath. Oh my goodness, why do they give me some of those words? They're like long. And they give you the pronunciation, but it takes me long to say it. Yeah, but that was a science name. I needed Mr. Iowa on that one. I knew penguin, but the name of the...
Leah, you hear me when I'm saying I was trying to tell you this part.
Grab your hand.
It's okay. Anything to me too. So what?
Next time you on the table and sit on the buzzer. Here you go.
It's kind of like a spelling bee. You just never know what question you're going to get. Okay, are we all ready? Oh, Dawson needs to blow his nose. I just went over live stream. I just said that, but it's okay. All right, JVs, are y'all ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So we've added Haley. Hi, Haley. We've got Sky, Peyton, Jared.
Go ahead and do a buzzer check.
Okay, buzzer check. Press
This is
go.
Haley. This is Caleb. And this is Chance. And I'm,
Still leave? Okay, good.
this is Jared. This is Peyton. This is Sky. And I'm still Tegan.
All right, good deal. All right, JV, we're on question 13. Are you ready? Visitors to this city throw over $1 million worth of coins annually, Chance,
Las Vegas.
into the Trevi Fountain. The Palatine and Aventine are two of this city's 7 hills. The Tiber River flows through the city. The Vatican is surrounded by, for 10 points, what city that is the capital of Italy? Tegan.
Rome.
Okay. We're reading these right now. All right, bonus on 13. Near the end of his play, Biff claims that he and his father are both a dime a dozen, rather than being leaders of men. For 10 points each, name this 1949 play whose title character kills himself so his family will receive a life insurance payout.
Pass. Pass.
Correct answer is Death of a Salesman. Okay, question B. Death of a Salesman centers on this 63-year-old who is described as exhausted by his wife, Linda.
Biff.
You're right.
Karen.
Correct answer is Willie Loman. All right, and question C. This American dramatist wrote Death of a Salesman. A family shelters undocumented Italian immigrants in this man's play, A View from the Bridge.
Pass. Pass.
The correct answer is Arthur Miller.
Why did I say that? I don't know.
All right, question 14. In this play, the Earl of Gloucester tries to jump off a cliff after being blinded by the Duke of Cornwall. This play's title character witnesses the execution of Cordelia, the youngest of his 3 daughters. An English monarch goes mad in, for 10 points, what tragedy by Shakespeare?
Time.
Correct answer is King Lear. All right, number 15. This country took control of the German concession in Shandong after the Treaty of Versailles. It led a co-prosperity sphere in Greater East Asia when it ruled Korea and Manchukuo. For 10 points, name this country that carried out the rape of Nanking and the Pearl Harbor attack. Leah.
Japan.
Japan is correct. Okay. Bonus for question 15. Porcupines belong to this taxonomic order, whereas hedgehogs do not. For 10 points each, name this largest mammalian order by number of identified species.
Kingdom.
Incorrect.
Pass.
Correct answer is rodents. Okay, question B. Rodents must continuously gnaw on objects to wear out these 4 front teeth, which grow throughout the animal's lifetime.
Pass.
Time.
Correct answer is incisors. And question C. The second largest rodent in this world is this semi-aquatic mammal, which builds dams and homes called lodges.
A beaver.
That is correct. Beaver. Okay, question 16. These numbers are left behind by the sieve of Eratosthenes. By the fundamental theorem of arithmetic, every integer past 1 can be factored into a product of these numbers. 2 is the only even example of, for 10 points, what type of number whose only positive divisors are 1 and itself? Chance.
Prime numbers.
That is correct. Bonus for 16. Events inside this stadium can be viewed from the rooftops of buildings on Waveland Avenue. For 10 points each, identify this baseball stadium named for an early 20th century chewing gum magnate.
Alfred Calum.
Astros.
Incorrect.
Time.
Correct. Wrigley Field. All right, B. All right. A distinctive feature of Wrigley Field is the presence of this plant, which has grown on Wrigley's outfield walls since the late 1930s. Incorrect.
Grapevines.
Incorrect. The correct answer is ivy. All right, and C, Wrigley Field is the home stadium of this team, which won the 2016 World Series with the help of stars Anthony Rizzo and Chris Bryant.
The Cubs.
That's correct. Okay. All right, question 17. This series inspired a cookbook illustrated by Christopher Denise that included a recipe for moss flower mulled cider. Many characters in this series see visions of Martin the Warrior. It is named for an abbey populated by animals. For 10 points, name this fantasy series by Brian Jock. Scott.
Thrones.
Incorrect. The correct answer is Redwall. All right, number 18. The Latin name for this observance is Quadragesima, meaning 40th. The Stations of the Cross are commonly prayed on Fridays during this observance, which is the 6-week period before Easter Sunday. For 10 points, name this period during which Christians often abstain from luxuries. Tegan.
Lent.
Lent is correct. All right, bonus question 18. For 10 points each, name these canals. This canal along the western border of Sinai Peninsula connects the Mediterranean to the Red Sea.
Panama.
Incorrect.
Pass.
The Suez Canal. Okay, B. George Washington Goethals was one of the chief engineers of this canal, which connects the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans.
Panama.
That is correct. And the last one, this canal, which opened in 1825, starts at the Hudson River near Albany and ends near Buffalo in upstate New York.
Pass. The Erie Canal.
That is correct.
Oh.
Doubt him again. Okay, we are on question 19. Y'all ready? This composer used a xylophone to imitate clacking bones in Danse Macabre and reused the effect in the Fossils movement of another work. The ballet, The Dying Swan, is set to this composer's cello piece, The Swan. For 10 points, name this French composer of Carnival of Animals. Chance.
Mozart.
Incorrect. Tegan.
Tchaikovsky.
The correct answer is Camille Saint-Saëns. All right, question 20. This god receives information about the world from 2 ravens named Hugin and Munin. To gain wisdom, this god sacrificed one of his eyes. Some warriors who die in battle go to this god's hall, Valhalla. Wednesday is named after, for 10 points, what chief god of the Norse pantheon? Jared.
Here.
Incorrect.
Time.
Did you get it?
Yeah, you got
All right, Chance.
Boulder.
Correct answer is Odin. right, 21. You ready? This star may be found by drawing a line from Merrick to Dubhe. In about 12,000 years, this closest classical Cepheid variable will be replaced by Vega in its most notable role due to Earth's precession. For 10 points, name this brightest star in Ursa Minor, which is the current North Star.
Time.
The correct answer is Polaris. All right, question 22. The left side of this country's flag depicts a yellow Siyambo, a national symbol containing elements of the sun, moon, and fire. It has the lowest population density of any country. The northern half of the Gobi Desert is in, for 10 points, what Asian country governed from Ulaanbaatar?
Time.
The correct answer is Mongolia. All right, question 23. In AD 508, this city became the capital of the Merovingian dynasty under Clovis I. A king and queen were once confined to this city's Tuileries Palace before being beheaded. In 1789, a revolutionary mob stormed a prison called the Bastille in, for 10 points, what capital of France? Tegan.
Paris.
Paris is correct. Bonus for question 23. These numbers have an odd amount of positive factors. For 10 points each, name this type of number equal to an integer raised to the power of 2.
Square root.
That is correct. Square numbers is right. All right, B. If a number ends in 1 or this other digit, then the number square must end in 1.
0.
Incorrect.
2.
The correct answer is 9. And the last one, this identity states that if A and B are any numbers, then A squared minus B squared equals the quantity A plus B times the quantity A minus B. Somebody, it's y'all's turn. Does anybody? When did their turn then?
They got 5 seconds.
Oh, they did? I'm sorry. Okay, well, the answer was the difference of squares. All right, last question. Question 24. Organisms in this class have respiratory systems with holes called spicules that lead to trachea. Adults in this class are also called imagos. Their bodies have a head, thorax, and abdomen. For 10 points, name this class of arthropods that contain beetles and other 6-legged bugs. Sky.
Insects.
Insects is correct. Okay. Bonus for question 24. Tangier and Marrakesh are 2 of the 4 most populous cities in this country. For 10 points each, what North African country is the western neighbor of Algeria?
Cuba.
Incorrect.
Kenya.
The correct answer is Morocco. B, a red hat with a black tassel, popular in parts of the Middle East, is named for this second most populous city in Morocco.
Fez.
Yes, that is correct. And the last one, Morocco's most populous city is this port, the setting of a 1942 film that starred Humphrey Bogart as the proprietor of a cafe.
Pass. Pass.
The correct answer is Casablanca. Okay, so final score. Is that right? South Pemiscot 180, Crothersville 130. Good game, guys. I apologize for any butchering that I made
You were gonna kill me if I didn't get wrong. I sure was. I was the one that it would have failed because my grandfather was a Mason. Although I get accused of being.
I was so mad.
Did you hear that? Yeah, it is. Okay, so I was like stressing out, like, oh, I'm sitting on cold. I like it. Oh, they are. I was like, I apologize for any mispronunciations, guys. You're good. I'm trying.
some of these words.
Miss Tanya, I'm proud of you.
Thanks, Dawson. Don't call me out if I mess up. I will.
I
Don't
can't.
do that. I'm kidding.
If I did that, Mr. Allen would be like, stop. If I did that, Mr. Allen would yell, he grips his teeth at me a lot. And I'm like, ooh, have y'all noticed that? Mr. Allen will always grit his teeth at me.
Even if when we're named to
And I'm like, I'm trying to fix this.
Okay, so watching. You guys good? Starting for 5 seconds for rebound. Are your lips still on? No, they're fine. Yeah, so.
Just pick that up. Am I saying a little loud?
What if they heard it?
Hey, hello.
I don't want to know. Are we filming?
Oh yeah, I need my angler.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait on Mr. Arnold.
I got bronchitis. I need this.
Well, if you get that nervous that you got
I don't
stuck
ever
on
get
that
nervous.
nose.
I'll never get nervous. I got nervous still.
Gotcha. You ready?
Are y'all ready?
We're ready.
Everybody good? Okay, so time to start the varsity match. We'll have introductions and buzzer checks. We'll start with Crothersville.
This is Morgan. This is Jordan. This is Amy. I'm Laura, and we're coached by Miss Kimball.
This is Sarah.
Yeah.
This is Sarah. This is Mackenzie.
We're 2 for 2.
Okay. This is Ansley. Okay. I'm Dawson. Coached by Mr. Amel.
All right. We'll be holding a fundraiser at the end of this match for new buzzers. If they'd like to
A
contribute.
GoFundMe?
Yeah, GoFundMe page will be set up shortly.
We have the same. And I think we do. We even have the same box. Look.
Were they all made in China? I'm sure.
I'm sure they can get that box. We probably have other set.
I'm trying to check it out.
I mean, they need to make heavy duty buzzers. It's
Yeah, we
really
do.
not that hard.
Some of the other ones are really big. Here's some fun.
I don't like the ones that take time to kind of like press the button. I didn't like that. I like giving
I just wanted to work. The first match we had, half of them didn't work, and I was like,
Well, half of them didn't light up. They all buzzed.
they didn't, and I didn't know who was buzzing. It was terrible. All right, varsity, let's get rolling. Y'all ready? I expect y'all all know all these questions. Yes? Okay, so question 1 is a science question. Charles Augustin de Coulomb showed that the kinetic form of this force does not depend on an object's velocity. The magnitude of this non-conservative force equals a coefficient times the normal force of an object. For 10 points, name this force that resists an object's motion. Dawson.
Friction.
That is correct. Your bonus questions are literature. Lawson Ferlinghetti was arrested for publishing this work. For 10 points each, name this poem by Allen Ginsberg. It depicts angel-headed hipsters burning for the ancient heavenly connection.
The Bible.
Incorrect. The correct answer is Howl. All right, B. Howl opens by proclaiming that I saw the best minds of my generation destroyed by this concept. Emily Dickinson wrote a poem stating that much of this is divinest sense.
Silence.
Incorrect. The correct answer is madness. All right, and then C, the line, "Ladies, we are going through hell," ends this poet's introduction to the book Howl and Other Poems. This man wrote The Red Wheelbarrow.
Robert Frost.
Incorrect. Correct answer is William Carlos Williams. We all know him. Okay. All right, second question, geography. A river in this state caught fire in 1969 due to being polluted. The Cuyahoga River is in this state. Jordan.
Ganges.
Where the mouth of the Maumee River lies near the city of Toledo. For 10 points, what Midwestern state shares its name with a river that forms most of its southern border with Kentucky? Mackenzie.
Ohio.
Ohio is correct. All right, so your bonus is science. One of these events, called the Geminids, originates from the asteroid 3200 Phaeton. For 10 points each, name these events. One of them, known as Perseids, is caused by a stream of debris ejected by the comet Swift-Tuttle.
Shooting star.
Incorrect.
Meteor shower.
That is correct.
Oh, got you.
All right, question B. The trajectory of the Perseids is affected by this phenomenon, which occurs in a 1:11 manner for Swift-Tuttle and Jupiter. It results when the periods of two objects form a ratio of integers.
Gravity.
Incorrect.
Pass.
The correct answer is orbital resonance. All right, and C, Neptune is in a 3-2 resonance with this dwarf planet. Prior to a 2006 reclassification, it was the 9th planet from the Sun.
Pluto.
That is correct. All right, question 3 is a science question. This is the broadest taxon of insects that possess knobbed organs called halteres to control body rotation. Mosquitoes and gnats belong to this order, as does the model organism Drosophila melanogaster. For 10 points, name this insect order that includes fruit and house species. Laura.
Flies.
That is correct. You could have said that before I had to say that before. All right, your bonus is history. For 10 points each, answer the following about the history of Jamaica as an English colony. A. The village of Port Royal at the mouth of Kingston Harbor served as a base of operations for these seafaring criminals such as Henry Morgan.
Pirates.
That's correct. Plantations in Jamaica produced this resource, which was brought to New England distilleries to make rum as part of a triangular trade.
Sugar.
That's correct. These escaped slaves, whose name now denotes any type of castaway, used the mountainous interior of the island to great effect in their revolts against the British.
Pass.
Pass.
The correct answer is maroons. Okay, question 4 is a literature question. A man in this play is told to let a lantern and thorn bush help an actor play the Man in the Moon. In this play, the actor Peter Quince stages a production of Pyramus and Thisbe. Nick Bottom and Titania Jordan.
A Midsummer Night's Dream.
That is correct. Midsummer Night's Dream. All right, and the bonus is a fine arts question. An urban legend claims the number of hooves depicted in the air on these sculptures represents the way that their subjects died. For 10 points each, name this general type of statue that shows a subject astride a horse.
I defer to Amy. Monument.
Incorrect.
Time.
Correct answer is equestrian statue. All right, B, Erasmo of Narni is depicted in Guatemala, an equestrian statue by this Italian who also sculpted a freestanding bronze David.
Pass.
Michelangelo.
Incorrect, but you're in the wheelhouse. Where's my Ninja Turtle man? Which one do you think it is?
D'Angelo.
Donatello. All right, and C, this alliteratively named equestrian statue by Frederick Remington depicts a cowboy atop a bucking horse.
The cowboy.
I guess. Incorrect, though.
Toro.
The correct answer is the Bronco Buster. Okay, question 5 is a mathematics question. By definition, this process cannot be done to a singular matrix. The additive version of this process is accomplished by multiplying by -1, while the multiplicative version is done by taking the reciprocal. For 10 points, name this general type of process involving a reversal. Sarah?
Division.
Incorrect. But good guess.
Tom.
The correct answer is inverting or calculating the inverse. All right, question 6, popular culture. In a 2015 film, members of this group used the quantum gate to visit Planet Zero. Both Michael B. Jordan and Chris Evans have played the same member of this group, Johnny Storm. Laura?
The Fantastic Four.
You're correct. All right, the bonus for this one is science. A law named for this physicist sets the electromotive force equal to the negative rate of change of the magnetic flux. For 10 points each, name this Englishman who discovered electromagnetic induction.
Smith.
Incorrect.
Charles Darwin.
Correct answer is Michael Faraday. All right, B. The electromotive force is measured using this unprefixed SI unit. It is named for the Italian scientist who made the first battery.
I defer to Jordan.
Joule.
Incorrect.
Ampere.
The correct answer is volts. And C. Faraday's law explains the operation of these devices, which can step voltage up or down. They often consist of 2 coils of wire wound around an iron core.
Pass.
A dial.
Incorrect. What if I told you it blow up when squirrels get on them?
Power.
No, you'll still get it. Transformers is the correct answer. All right, question 7, current events. In this country, U.S. Ambassador Marcia Bernacat's car was attacked during protests in which police fired on students who opposed the Awami League of Sheikh Hasina. A bus accident that killed 2 school children led to unrest in, for 10 points, what Asian country whose capital is Dhaka? Mackenzie.
Japan.
Incorrect.
Tom.
The correct answer is Bangladesh. All right, question 8, fine arts. This composer included a troika fourth movement in a suite excerpted from his score to the film Lieutenant Kesey. The Dance of the Knights is an excerpt from his ballet Romeo and Juliet. For 10 points, name this Soviet-era composer of the children's piece Peter and the Wolf. Mackenzie.
Handle.
I can't buzz.
There you go.
Tchaikovsky.
No, a good guess. The correct answer is Sergei Prokofiev. All right, question 9. It's a history question. This man said he was born of a rank which recognizes no superior but God when talking to Henry VI after being captured in Austria. He negotiated an 1192 peace treaty with Saladin, allowing Christians access to Jerusalem. For 10 points, name this English king who fought in the Third Crusade. Dawson.
King Henry.
Incorrect. Laura.
King John.
The correct answer is Richard the Lionhearted, or Richard the First. All right, question 10 is a literature question. A character in this play asks if people ever realize life while they live it, after reliving her 12th birthday. In this play, the wedding of George Gibbs and Emily Webb is officiated by the stage manager. Grover's Corners is the setting of, for 10 points, what play by Thornton Wilder?
Time.
The correct answer is Our Town. All right, question 11 is a math question. Pencil and paper ready. Ashley needs to know the sum of all the integers from 1 to 50 inclusive. Since adding them up manually will take too long, she instead creates pairs of numbers such that each pair sums to 51. For 10 points, compute the sum of the 50 integers from 1 to 50.
Time.
The correct answer is 1,275. All right, question 12, literature. This literary character buys coupons for beauty supplies that a friend won in a raffle. The cat Picky Picky avoids the sister of this girl, who is a friend of Henry Huggins. A girl's inability to say her sister's name led to the nickname of, for 10 points, Laura.
Beezus.
Yes, Beezus. So glad somebody knew that. Okay, so your bonus for that one is current events. A significant new use rule proposed by the EPA in 2018 would allow this substance to be used in pipe wrapping, adhesive, and other industrial products. For 10 points each, name this fibrous substance used as insulation and fire retardant prior to the 1970s, when it was shown to cause mesothelioma and lung cancer.
Asbestos.
Asbestos is correct. The new rule was proposed while this man was still director of the EPA. He resigned in July 2018 over misconduct allegations.
Pass.
Pass.
The correct answer is Scott Pruitt. And C, in the U.S., asbestos use is regulated by both the EPA and by this Department of Labor Administration, charged with overseeing workplace injury and hazard regulations.
Pass.
FDA.
Correct answer is OSHA, or Occupational Safety and Health. All right, question 13, mathematics, pencil and paper ready. Benjamin needs to find the value of x that satisfies the equation 2x minus 3 equals 1/2 x plus 3/2. By moving all the x terms to the left-hand side, he computes, for 10 points, what value of x, given that 2x minus 3 equals 1/2 x plus 3/2. Dawson.
3.
That is correct. Your bonus is a science question for 10 points each. Answer these questions about Benjamin Franklin's scientific work. In 1770, Franklin studied and charted what warm eastward North Atlantic Ocean current that follows much of the eastern seaboard.
Atlantic.
Incorrect.
Tide.
Correct answer is the Gulf Stream. B. Franklin invented and wore what style of eyeglasses whose lenses have different convexity on their upper and lower halves?
Bifocal.
That is correct. And last one, Franklin's studies of demography led him to propose that the American colonies would double their population every 25 years, a fact cited in what British author's an essay on the principle of population?
Pass.
Pass.
The correct answer is Thomas Malthus. All right, it's halftime, so everybody take a little break. My brain hurts.
Sorry,
You heard
I have a question. No.
Hey, I was still going for the guy who was knowing the Ninja Turtles, because when I saw that, I was like, it's a Ninja Turtle.
And he said, I thought it was
But it was in the wheelhouse, so Donatello. I just did it just a second. I can't keep my feet back.
I didn't know like about that math question. I just multiplied everything by the fraction.
Okay, listen. Allison likes peanut brownie. Allison and me are like the only two people who actually like I sometimes like.
Okay, guys, y'all ready to finish? As it stands halfway through the match, South Pemiscot has 50 points and Crothersville has 80. Is that right? Are we good? Scored? Another buzzer check? Okay, Crothersville.
Jordan.
Morgan, did yours buzz? Yes, it did. Okay.
Ansley. Sarah. Kinsey. Dawson.
All right, y'all ready? Question 14 is literature. My favorite. In this book, the Sumerian sorcerer Simon unsuccessfully seeks to purchase spiritual power. This book documents a trip to Damascus, during which Saul of Tarsus, Sarah, becomes a Christian. For 10 points, name this 5th book of the New Testament, which details the rise of the Christian church.
Tom.
The correct answer is
Acts.
thank you. All right, question 15 is fine arts. This artist depicted a robed skeleton lurking behind a door with an arrow in his panel, Death and the Miser. He made a triptych which includes a man whose body resembles a hollow tree in its depiction of hell. For 10 points, name this Netherlandish artist of the Garden of Earthly Delights.
Tom.
The correct answer is Hieronymus Bosch. Y'all know him? Question 16, science. Cyanides feature this kind of bond between carbon and nitrogen atoms. This type of bond connects the atoms of dinitrogen. Jordan.
Covalent.
By definition, at least one of these bonds is found in an alkyne. 6 electrons are shared in, for 10 points, what type of bond represented with 3 parallel lines?
Tom.
The correct answer is a triple bond. All right, question 17 is a history. In this city, over 600 employees of the Cantor Fitzgerald investment firm died in a single day. While in this city, the president used a bullhorn to say, "I can hear you," amid the rubble of a destroyed building. For 10 points, what city was led by Rudy Giuliani during the 9/11 attacks? Mackenzie.
New York.
Correct. Hey, your bonus is fine arts. There are many string instruments other than violins and guitars. For 10 points each, the Portuguese machete was adopted into this small 4-stringed instrument into the lute family from Hawaii. The Portuguese machete was adapted into this small 4-stringed instrument in the lute family from Hawaii.
Ukulele.
That's correct. The bowed erhu and zither-like guchen and gujum are among the traditional string instruments of this Asian country. The tam-tam, or orchestral gong, also originated in this country.
Asian.
Incorrect.
China.
China is correct. A hollow triangular body is the most visually striking feature of this Russian instrument, which was standardized in the 1880s by Vasily Andreev.
The triangle.
A harp.
The correct answer is the balalaika. Okay, question 18 is mythology. The god's full name describes him as Horus of the Horizons. A great hymn to this god may have been written by a pharaoh who renamed himself after this god. For 10 points, name this aspect of the sun god Ra, who was the supreme god of a religion established by Amenhotep IV. Dawson.
Hades.
Correct. Jordan.
Horse.
Correct answer is autumn. All right, question 19 is mathematics. Obelus is the name for one symbol of this mathematical operation. Doing this operation on two polynomials produces a rational function. Chunking is a method for this operation via repeated subtraction. For 10 points, name this arithmetic operation whose result is called a quotient. Dawson.
Division.
Division is correct. All right, your bonus is science. The Hammett function is used instead of this quantity when describing superacids. For 10 points each, name this value equal to the negative log of the hydrogen ion concentration. It is equal to 7 for neutral solutions.
An acid base.
Correct.
Hey, just acidity.
Incorrect. The correct answer is the pH.
Yeah.
All right, B. These solutions resist changes in pH and usually consist of a weak acid and conjugate base.
Acidic.
Incorrect.
Basic.
Correct answer is buffers or buffered solutions. And C. This formula is used to calculate the pH of a buffer. It states that pH equals pKa plus log of base concentration over acid concentration.
The pH formula.
Incorrect.
Yes.
Correct answer is the Henderson-Hasselbalch equation. Question 20 is history. A 17th century holder of this religious title is sometimes called the Great Fifth. The 1989 Nobel Peace Prize went to the holder of this title, who currently lives as a refugee in India. For 10 points, Tenzin Gyatso is the current holder of what highest title in Tibetan Buddhism? Or Tibetan Buddhism? Mackenzie.
Prophet.
Correct.
Time.
Y'all are gonna be mad. The Dalai Lama. All right, mathematics, question 21. Pencil and paper ready. Claire needs to find the slope of a line whose x-intercept is 8 and whose y-intercept is 4. By writing out the Cartesian coordinates of the x and y intercepts and recalling that slope equals delta y over delta x, Dawson.
-1/2.
-1/2 is correct. And for bonus, more mathematics computation. Pencil and paper ready. For 10 points each, answer these questions about a 2x2 matrix whose top row is 7, 3, and whose bottom row is 1, 9. Question A. What is the determinant of the matrix?
(3/16).
Incorrect. Correct answer is 60. Okay, B. What is the trace of the matrix, given that the trace equals the sum of the elements along the main diagonal?
16.
That's correct. And C. What is the rank of the matrix given that it has full rank?
Four.
Incorrect.
5.
The correct answer is 2. All right, question 25 is also mathematics. Surprisingly, sorry.
We were on. Okay, so they answered toss up 21, right?
Yes.
And that was the bonus for 24.
Oh my goodness, I'm
It's
so
okay.
sorry.
Just if someone gets the toss up for 24 right, you'll just go back and read the 21 bonus.
Okay, I got you.
So we should be on toss up 22.
Oh, okay. Oops, I am off. Sorry. How did I do that? Oh, I know. I turned the page and looked on the wrong side. Okay, so we're on question 22 now, right? Okay, it's history. In this century, Hong Shituan declared himself the brother of Jesus Christ and began a revolt. The Treaty of Nanking ended a war in this century fought over a drug. The Taiping Rebellion broke out in, for 10 points, what century during which China fought the Opium Wars? Dawson.
16th century.
Incorrect. Laura.
The 19th century.
19th century is correct. Okay, your bonus is mathematics. For 10 points each, answer these questions about regular dodecahedrons. How many faces does a regular dodecahedron have? Dodecahedron.
10.
Incorrect.
12.
12 is correct. All right, what is the shape of each face?
Triangles.
Incorrect.
Dodecagon.
Correct answer is pentagon. All right, and C, at each vertex of a regular dodecahedron, how many faces meet?
Three.
3 is correct. Okay, question 23 is miscellaneous. A pioneering object of this type is known as the penny black, while a rare one from 1938 is called the inverted Jenny. First day of issue covers mark the release of these objects, which are studied by philatelists for 10 points. Name these objects that are attached to pieces of mail. Morgan.
Stamp.
Stamp is correct. All right, bonus for this one is social science. The 2005 Supreme Court case, Kelo versus City of New London, ruled that this practice is permissible if it is intended to spur economic development. For 10 points each, name this practice in which the government seizes private property for the public good.
Pass.
Socialism.
The correct answer is eminent domain. All right, the next one, eminent domain is permitted for public use according to interpretations of this amendment. In trials, people often plead this amendment to avoid self-incrimination.
The 5th Amendment.
The Fifth Amendment. And the last one, the dissenting opinion in the Kelo case was written by this first female justice to serve on the Supreme Court.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Incorrect.
I defer to Sarah.
Did he get it in? No. The correct answer is Sandra Day O'Connor. All right. Question 24 is geography. country's leading seminary is at Qum? The Nakshijihan Square is in its city of Isfahan, which is the capital of Safavid dynasty. This country is due south of the Caspian Sea. Persia is the former name of, for 10 points, what country whose capital is Tehran? Laura.
Saudi Arabia.
Incorrect. Mackenzie.
Pakistan.
The correct answer is Iran. All right, question 25, mathematics. Surprisingly, this value is infinite for Gabriel's horn. The base plus half of the product of the perimeter of the base and the slant height gives this property for a pyramid. For a sphere, 4 pi r squared gives, for 10 points, Emmy.
Area.
Area is correct. Okay, your bonus is geography. So for 10 points each, answer the following about the Pan-American Highway. A, the original route of the highway stretched from Monterrey, Mexico to what capital city of Argentina?
Chile.
Buenos Aires. The highway also runs through this other South American capital city that was founded by Francisco Pizarro in 1535.
Pass.
Caracas.
The correct answer is Lima. And the last one, the only interruption of the Pan American Highway is this heavily forested gap in southern Panama and northern Colombia.
The Panama Canal.
The Amazon rainforest.
The Darien Gap. All right, question 26. Last question. Current events. In a 2018 primary in this state, an incumbent House Democrat was defeated by 28-year-old Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. This state's incumbent governor was challenged by former actress Cynthia Nixon. Kirsten Gillibrand is a senator from, for 10 points, what state governed by Andrew Cuomo? Laura.
New Mexico.
Incorrect. Dawson.
Texas.
The correct answer is New York. All right, final score. South Pemiscot 110, Crothersville 140. Good match, y'all. Maybe I should have excused myself and said I'm related to her. Tell your mama I said that.
Yeah, she should go here. I'm from Cougar, but my mom and I graduated the same year. But anyway, just take them all the time to say hi. All right, Mr. Thank you.